Right now, we are standing at an inflection point in the commercial real estate market. Over $3 trillion in asset value has just become available for transfer from public and private utility companies to commercial property owners. This opportunity has arisen because of onerous state mandates being placed on utility companies, increases in federal government subsidies for on-site power generation, and advances in clean energy technology. Together, these new developments now make it possible for commercial building owners to generate their own power on site more economically than they can buy it from the grid. Now, somebody may have told you this type of opportunity existed before, and then you may have looked at the numbers and figured it didn't pencil. But things have changed. The technology is here now, and it's creating the potential for a massive equity transfer, as utilities stand to lose billions of dollars from commercial accounts, and commercial property owners stand to add that same amount to their bottom line. So you may be scratching your head wondering, even if all these changes I'm telling you about are correct, how could there possibly be $3 trillion of equity in play? Well, here are the numbers. There are about 100 billion square feet of commercial real estate in the United States, and the average commercial building consumes about 22 kilowatt hours per square foot per year. So that's about 2.2 trillion kilowatt hours in total energy consumption. If each kilowatt hour costs about 10 cents, then the total value of that energy is about $220 billion. And if that $220 billion ends up shifting from utility company revenue over to commercial real estate NOI, it's probably worth about 15x or so on a capitalized basis, assuming the average building trades at a 7% cap rate. And that's your $3 trillion plus dollars. So in my humble opinion, it's fair to say that the equity transfer that is about to take place as a result of our nation's move to renewable energy will be massive. Not every building owner is going to participate in the same way. Some may in fact miss out on this transfer entirely. Now, for sure there's going to be a group of building owners that sees this opportunity and chooses to do nothing. They're going to continue to purchase grid power, and they're going to purchase it at a premium. Other owners are going to choose to buy power from private providers that build energy systems on their site. And finally, a remaining group of owners are going to develop their own on-site generation systems to service themselves and or their tenants. Now, obviously, it's those owners that choose to participate in this last way that will benefit the most. Now, in the remainder of this video, I want to cover the potential impact of choosing each one of these options. Okay, so option number one, buying power from the grid. This is not going to be the cheapest solution. Over the next 10 to 15 years, California's utility companies will be required to invest upwards of $30 billion in new transmission capacity to accommodate all the new clean energy generation required to meet state mandates. As a result, the California CEC estimates that utility rates will outpace inflation by as much as 70% by 2030. So to put this in perspective, if state utility prices do rise at this rate, a $10,000 a month electric bill could be $20,000 in less than 10 years. But the threat of these higher bills is not going to push everybody into the self-generation camp. Building owners that do nothing and just keep paying their electric bill won't have to commit any capital expenditures. They won't have to sign a long-term contract, and they won't have to spend any time trying to implement their own power generation program. So there's some perks, and this may be the right move for some. Okay, so moving on. Option number two, leasing from a private energy developer. This is the next easiest solution. In this scenario, commercial property owners simply contract with private energy developers to purchase energy from systems developed directly on their property. The building owner gets to determine the system size, the building owner gets to negotiate their lease rate, and the building owner doesn't have to come out of pocket for anything more than what they're currently paying for electricity. So for a lot of people, this could be a good deal. But A building owner that enters a lease or a power purchase agreement is going to give up their share of the equity transfer that I mentioned at the top of this video. Further, that building owner may miss out on the opportunity to size their system or optimize their system in the best way for them. For example, there may not be as much backup protection, or there may not be processes in place to limit demand charges the way they could otherwise do so. Also, it should be noted that with a lease, you often have a price escalator which tracks inflation. So the building owner may not be able to lock in his electric cost or hedge over the long term. Instead, he'll likely end up getting ongoing proportionate discounts to the market price of electricity. Now, the biggest positive with a lease or a PPA is that there's no capital commitment. The building owner is simply signing up to buy power from a new provider, typically at some sort of discount, and then relegating the grid to backup position. This is a simple solution with more or less immediate gratification. So again, for a lot of people, this is going to be the right move. Okay, finally, we have option number 3, building your own energy system. Now, this is obviously the most complex of the 3 options, but it comes with the greatest rewards. In this scenario, building owners capture all of the economic benefits associated with a clean energy project: the federal tax credit, accelerated depreciation, and any renewable energy credits. And they get to design their system to capture additional revenue generating opportunities: EV charging stations, hydrogen fueling ports, community solar generation. All of these elements could be part of the mix. When a building owner becomes an active participant in the transition to zero emissions by developing his own system, he has the unique opportunity to participate in the equity transfer I mentioned at the top of this video, all with virtually nothing out of pocket and under a financial structure that can offer savings from day one of system operation. You just have to be willing to invest the time it takes to go through the development process. So there you have it, the Cliff's Notes on the 3 ways for commercial property owners to participate in our nation's transition to 100% renewable energy. Continue buying your power from the grid, sign a lease or PPA to buy power from a private provider, or develop your own on-site generation system. If you'd like to explore these options in more detail with respect to your particular circumstances, please check out the link below. We'd be happy to set up a free consultation.